From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Inside Politics.
Hello, everyone. I'm News Channel 5's political analyst, Pat Nolan. Welcome to Inside Politics. This week on the show, we continue to focus on the 4th District Congressional GOP primary race, which is coming up in August. Last week, we hosted the incumbent Congressman DesJarlais on the show. Today, we welcome his opponent, State Senator Jim Tracy. Senator, welcome back to the program, and thanks for joining us.
Oh, glad to be here with you, Pat.
Now, when you run for Congress, you're running all the time, but you've been running for close to a year and a half, which is rather extraordinary for a challenger. You've run for office several times before, but does this campaign feel like one that's just never going to end?
It's a long campaign. We did start about a year and a half ago, but you know, when you have 16 counties in the area, Pat, it takes that to touch as many people as you can and ask them for their votes. So
now, your opponent, Congressman DesJarlais, has had some pretty well-reported personal problems involving abortion and sexual affairs with his own patients at one point, although it was in a divorce case, came out that way, that happened back in 2001 before he was in public office. You mentioned some of that indirectly early in the campaign. Now you're mentioning it more directly. You're talking about it on your website, your Facebook page, and also in a new direct mail piece that's out. Why are you bringing it up directly now?
Well, Pat, the reason why the citizens in the 4th District, the voters, need an opportunity to choose. Now they have a choice, and it makes them decide who is the most effective. And that's what I'm all about running, and it gives the voters a choice to look at the information to see if that is something that affects them and affects him being effective. He cannot be effective with that in his background, being able to work with the state and local officials.
Did you feel like mentioning it indirectly earlier, talking about integrity, didn't quite get the message across and you wanted to be more direct about it?
I just think the voters need to be informed on the issue, and this just gives them the information they need to make a choice.
Now, I mentioned that you're already talking about this on your website and Facebook and a direct mail piece. Does that mean we'll be seeing in the closing days of the campaign a TV ad about this topic as well from you?
We're working on that as we speak today. Right now we are on positive, and we've got a good positive message on there about taking an oath in office.
Now, the congressman has apologized for his actions and indiscretions in the past. Why isn't that enough for you?
Well, I believe in apologies, and I think that's excellent, and I just believe this is an opportunity for the voters to make a decision on if these things that happen, it makes him, whether it's effective or not effective. I believe it makes him ineffective.
Now, the voters reelected the congressman in 2012, and a good number of these allegations were already out there in the public sphere. People knew about them. Is not a sign that the voters have already kind of forgiven the congressman on this issue?
I disagree with that. I don't think they really knew these issues. They really didn't come out to October of 2012, and during the primary of 2012, the information was out there. The voters didn't have a choice in 2012. They're going to have a choice between me and him this year.
Well, there was a Democratic candidate on the ballot.
There was a Democratic candidate. The allegations came out about the second week in October, so early voting had already begun. They'd already had a couple of weeks of early voting.
Now, some may think the timing of these attacks that you're doing already on the congressman are a little curious, since they come just a few days after an outside PAC group, one that's supporting Congressman DesJarlais, has put out a poll that says Congressman DesJarlais is up 2-1. Do these attacks have anything to do with responding to that poll?
Not at all. I will talk about the poll. That's the same group that polled the opponent for Diane Black 2 years ago, and 2 weeks out of the election said that her opponent was up 12 points. And just for the viewers, Congressman Black won 69-31.
Now, you mentioned that particular poll. I haven't heard you respond with any poll numbers of your own. Do you have any internal poll numbers you'd like to share about that as far as where you think the race is?
We're very comfortable where we are. I don't have any poll numbers to share. If you notice, you look at my financial report, we don't have any poll where we've paid a polling company to poll. I know my opponent said we've been polling a lot. We haven't been polling. But we feel very good where we are running in this campaign.
I had some Republican consultants tell me that they've been curious about your campaign. They thought perhaps you, maybe not on polling, but you were spending too much money on consultants and not enough out building your grassroots support. How do you respond to that?
I totally disagree with them on that. If you look at my financial disclosure, you can see that we've paid very little on Republican consultants. We've spent more money on grassroots, and I'm working 16, 18 hours a day throughout the district.
Now, you've had more endorsements than most any other Republican candidate I can remember. Are you talking with them? Are they calling you to ask about this poll and other things just to check to see how you are? They certainly must be concerned when they see numbers that come out to show you're down 2-1.
No, they haven't called at all, to be honest with you. I think they know, they feel comfortable where we are. They know what kind of campaign we're running. They keep up with us online through our emails. We email folks and keep them up. So we feel very comfortable. I'm excited where we are in the campaign.
Same is true for the PAC support. You're getting this PAC support that normally goes for an incumbent. Congressman DesJarlais is not getting it this time. Have they called and said, hey, gee, what's going on down there?
No.
So no problems. Everybody thinks you're fine. You're not having to give them actual numbers that you're not sharing here about where you're saying you're comfortable. And they're
not
okay
at all.
with that? Now, one of those who's strongly attacking Congressman DesJarlais is a TV comedian and commentator, Bill Maher. How comfortable are you having a liberal sort of attacking your opponent? Does he play very well in your district?
I don't think most people in my district know who he is. If you ask them, I tell you, it is embarrassing, though, that we have a congressman from Tennessee that is brought out by the national media.
Now, I just want to ask again, there are a number of numerous national publications that have listed Congressman DesJarlais as the #1 most likely incumbent to lose. Do you feel any pressure at this point as you go down the stretch? I mean, this other group that's also not only attacked Senator Black, Congressman Black, excuse me, she was senator at the time, I suppose, part of it. They've also ran TV ads against her, too. Are you expecting that group to be running TV ads against you in these final days?
I don't know. I mean, as far as pressure goes, we're just working extremely hard every day to try to talk to every voters to give them a choice. The big thing that I hear across the district, Pat, and I want you viewers to know this, the big thing I hear is they're looking for someone new. Washington's on the wrong track. The country's on the wrong track. They want somebody new with fresh ideas, and I offer that. I'm giving them an opportunity to vote somebody new and fresh that's been able to be effective as a state senator, and I want to be effective as a congressman and to make people proud of the congressman they have in the 4th District. 4th
District Congressional candidate on the Republican side, Jim Tracy, is our guest on Inside Politics. Back to continue our conversation with him after this break.